I recently covered Xiaomi's super high-end flagship for its 11th generation, but what if you don't want all the bells and whistles? What if all you really care about is speed, battery life, and a single good quality camera? Well, in that case, you should maybe be looking at the Xiaomi Mi 11T Pro. At £500, it packs a lot of punch, but is it worth going over some of the more premium used options? Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas. Thanks to Damien Well for sending out this smartphone. Today I'm going to be looking at the Xiaomi Mi 11T Pro a few months later. When I say that the Mi 11T Pro is a no-frills, proper flagship killer, I really mean it. It forgoes super thin bezels and crazy camera stacks to focus primarily on performance and battery life. With a spec sheet like this, you shouldn't be running into many issues in those areas. I mean, it's got a Snapdragon 888, 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, both of those upgradable if you pay a little bit more, a 5000 mAh battery with 120W fast charging, and a 108 megapixel main camera with a 6.67 inch Full HD Plus 120Hz OLED panel. That sounds like an awful lot of stuff for your money, but I feel like the spec sheet only tells half the story. The Mi 11T Pro is one of the fastest devices I've ever used. I mean, the performance is nuts. This is only the base model, but you do get 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, as I said, as standard. You get that super high-end processor, which is good graphics as well, meaning that you can play as many games as you want. I mean, I played a fair few 3D titles, higher end 3D titles in my time with this. It never chugged once. It's a fantastic phone for even maybe a gamer who doesn't want to spend £1,000 on an ROG special. You get one of these, you get pretty much most of the performance anyway. And the same goes obviously for day-to-day tasks, you know, whether you're using social media or just multitasking around the place, having background applications, this thing is just very, very fast. There's no other way to say it. The big 6.67 inch screen is fast and fluid, plenty bright, and thanks to the OLED panel it produces excellent contrast. It's not presented particularly well as those bezels are fairly thick, but I don't see that as an issue personally. And the punch hole isn't the smallest in the world, but I do like that it's in the centre. I know that some people prefer it up in the corners, but I actually really like a centre placed punch hole. One thing I do want to mention though, it's an incredibly slippery smartphone. I'm not sure if it's just the colour that I have here or if it goes for all the colours, but it's just incredibly slippery. And thankfully it does come with a TPU case as standard, and I would recommend getting a case for it because it is so slippery, and also because it's only got IP53 water and dust resistance ratings compared to the sort of IP67, IP68 that we're used to seeing on other smartphones in this category. Don't get me wrong, it'll probably be fine out in the rain, but don't count on it. Whilst we're on the subject of hardware, I have to praise the side-mounted fingerprint scanner. It's a proper capacitive one, it's fast, it's accurate, and at the same time very well placed. You know me, I love a capacitive fingerprint reader. Oh, and as well, the haptics are very crisp. Much better than I was expecting actually. They feel really good, very high-end, maybe not quite iPhone level, but almost really up there. And I would say that if you're looking for a high-end feeling smartphone, even if it doesn't look quite as premium, this is the one. Xiaomi's MIUI software is in the flavour of MIUI 13 based on Android 12, and it feels pretty much like any other Xiaomi device out there at the moment. It's fluid, it's clean looking, it does seem to deviate quite a lot from the standard sort of stock look I guess, or maybe pixel experience. It looks pretty different to that, but I would say as a whole looks quite good. Again, notification issues, this is a Xiaomi MIUI thing. And I'm pretty sure if you don't use power saving mode, it kind of cuts most of the notification issues out anyway. And I would say that if you're looking at a smartphone that's going to get lots of platform upgrades, maybe don't always go for Xiaomi. They don't seem to be amazing at fulfilling some of their software upgrades, but if you're into roaming, for example, then this would be a good phone for you. Before we get onto the camera experience, I just want to say I really unfortunately wasn't able to check out the 120W charging. I didn't get a charger in the box with this one, which is absolutely fine by me because I'm usually not using them enough to fully test the charging every single time. The 120W is amazing. I mean, it claims 70% in like under 10 minutes, which is absolutely nuts. However, I would say, as I've said in previous videos, made a whole video on it actually, that fast charging does degrade batteries a lot quicker than normal charging, and though it's very cool and very handy to have, it's not something that I would use all the time. Battery life though was very good, able to get me through a full day absolutely fine. This phone actually took me to around the 2-day mark just before that, and maybe again I could have been a little bit less heavy on it, I would say. I'm not a heavy user by any means. I use a set of Bluetooth earbuds to listen to music. I actually listen to podcasts as well, probably about an hour a day, something like that. And I'm mostly connected to Wi-Fi, not to cellular connection. So not sort of heavily using it, and of course with the overcast days at the moment, not really pushing the screen to its maximum either. And I would say that even if you did, use the screen at a higher brightness and also maybe use Bluetooth a little bit more, you'd still be able to get a full day. So this has got a big battery, big charging. It's very much performance and battery focused, and it really did perform for me in those areas. Right, let's talk about cameras. This is where companies will get you with the bigger numbers. 108 megapixels, wow, sure, it seems great on the poster, but the issue is actually deeper than that. Xiaomi gave us just an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 5 megapixel tele macro alongside the 108 megapixel main. And that might be absolutely fine for you, but I'd rather the main shooter was a lower resolution, just so we could have a higher resolution ultra wide. 8 megapixel Xiaomi? This isn't 2016 anymore. Don't get me wrong, the Mi 11T Pro is capable of taking some fantastic photos with that main sensor if you just stick to that. You will not be disappointed. I was shocked at just how far Xiaomi's processing has come, even off the back of reviewing their bonkers Mi 11 Ultra, that did very well as well. The 11T Pro captures heaps of detail, dynamic range and colour across a wide range of shooting conditions. Xiaomi's night mode is still a little bit of a concern to me, as it doesn't seem to be able to keep the shutter open nearly as long as it should in those really harsher environments, but in other areas like portrait mode, selfie mode and daylight, the 11T Pro shone. There is a substantial quality drop off, as you might expect, going to the ultra wide and telephoto cameras, which is a shame and something that would turn me off buying one of these, but I am not the target demographic, I must admit, and when you consider how much you're getting for the rest of the phone, the camera performance as a package isn't all that bad. So this is competing on eBay with the likes of the OnePlus 9, and whilst I personally would go for the OnePlus 9 for its nicer software in my opinion, and I like the way that they balance the cameras more, this does technically, the Mi 11T Pro, have the better performance and better battery, and if you're really after those things, I would just say get the Mi 11T Pro for a few reasons. One, obviously it's newer, so you're more likely to get a brand new unit. You are also able to get a warranty with those. Number two, the primary camera is a little bit better than the primary camera on the OnePlus 9 anyway, so if you're just using that one, you're going to get better results. And three, I mean, you're just getting so much power and battery performance for the money. It's a fantastic smartphone. It's not my go-to recommendation. I still would say get the OnePlus 9. However, if you're after a phone like this, the Mi 11T Pro is a fantastic option. I want to give a massive shout out to Damien Wild for lending me the smartphone for a review. I really do check it out. I really do appreciate it. So please do check out his links in the video description as always. I've got a few OnePluses coming up on the channel, so stay tuned for those. I also want to thank my patrons for being continually supportive. Thank you all so much. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I'll catch you later. Peace.